Hello, this is going to be a video guide and some tips on how to get faster at solving the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Okay. The first thing you need to know about how to get faster at the Rubik's Cube is to get faster, you need to move the cube with your fingers, not using your entire hand to rotate the cube. Now, in order to do this, you need to do two things. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you have a cube that rotates well. And to do this, you need to lubricate your cube. I would recommend lubricating it with silicone, preferably CRC heavy-duty silicone. I've used 3 or 4 different kinds of silicone, and this one works the best. I would not recommend using petroleum jelly or Vaseline. They're the same thing. I wouldn't use either one of those because if you apply that to your cube, it will deteriorate the plastic, and you will have a bunch of little plasticky pieces on the inside of your cube, and it'll actually grind together and make it slower, which is the opposite of what we're trying to achieve here. The next thing you need to do is make sure you have a cube that is a good tension. Now, if you have a store-bought cube and you don't have a nicer cube that has a screw spring structure, there's not really much you can do about this, but you can purchase one. If you have one that has screw spring structure, make sure that it's loose enough to where the pieces move freely, but at the same time it's not going to pop when you force the pieces. A good way to measure if the cube is tight enough is by when you take out the piece, if there is a slight amount of resistance to where the piece is not coming out and then it just pops right out real fast like that, that's about good. If you can stick your finger and just rip that piece out, it's probably way too loose, and if you have to fight it, it's probably too tight. So loosen it or tighten it to find that perfect tension, and that'll help your cube move faster. Now, let's begin on how to use your fingers. There are 4 basic hand positions when you hold the Rubik's Cube. Let's just call this position 1, where your thumbs are in the front and your fingers are in the back. Now, the thumb can be on the center cubies or in this little crease right here between the center cubie and the bottom cubie. And the 3 fingers in the back are on each of the 3 cubies. So, like so. Index finger, middle finger, and ring finger on these cubies right here. And this is position 1. The next position is position 2. When your hand is on top of the cube. So this is the up face in this case. This is the up face. And you have your 3 fingers on the 3 cubies. And again, the thumbs are on the bottom in a similar position to position 1. The next position is position 3, where your thumb is on the up face and your fingers are on the down face. This position may be a little uncomfortable or awkward at first. But it's not used very much, and it's only used for a short period of time. You won't be holding the cube like this for a long period of time, so just although it's uncomfortable, make sure you can make it comfortable enough to hold it for maybe a second or so. But it's not used very often, but it's still important. Okay, so how to move the cube. Now, there's 6 faces on the cube, and I'm going to go over ways to move all of them in the most efficient way using your fingers. Now, most people, when they start out, they turn the entire cube, the entire face, with one hand. So they waste a lot of effort in moving their hand around. Really, all of it takes is a little flick of the finger, like so. Just flick the piece. Now, we're going to start out with the right and left face. So this face and that face. Now, these are the easiest to turn because all you have to do is move your hand. In this case, you would actually use your hand to rotate the piece, keeping your fingers on those 3 cubies and the thumb on the middle or the line in between. Just rotating it like that. And the same thing with the left. So that's the right and left face. This is the easiest to understand, and they're the most comfortable. The next most comfortable face to move is the up face, this face. Using your hands in position 1, which is what they're in a lot of the time, especially the left hand. The left hand is in position 1 almost all the time. You simply rotate the up face with a flick of your finger. Now you can do, when you start using your fingers, you can do 2 things. You can either flick the cube, or you can push the cube with your fingers. See, like that's a push, and that's a flick. It just it's almost like you're hitting the cube and it's just spinning around, versus a push, which your finger follows the cube as the face turns. So that is how you do the up face, and you just use your index fingers, and it's very comfortable because index fingers are good fingers. Now, when you're moving the pieces with your fingers, if you come to a position where you flick it and the other pieces rotate, that's because you're not holding them in place. When you do all of these moves, you need to hold the other position in place. So let's take the U, for example. This is the index fingers, flicking it in position 1. All you're going to do is you're going to take your hands from the 3 center cubies and slide them a little bit forward. And here's the thumb, slide it so that you're holding the rest of the pieces intact while you flick. That ensures that the cube doesn't rotate layers that you're not trying to, and it helps prevent lockups, which will drastically reduce your solve times. That will become natural to you as you begin solving the cube, but that's just one thing to remember if you're just now starting finger tricks. The next most comfortable face would be the front face, this face. All you have to do is rotate to position 2 and turn the cube with the index fingers. Again, this is in position 2 with your hands. The only 2 faces left after that are the bottom face and the back face, the down face and the B face. Now these are the least comfortable because they require you to use your ring fingers. To use, let's just start with the down face. To turn the down face, use your ring fingers and merely, just like the up face, just give it a flick, like so. And here's the left hand. Okay. To do the back face, you're going to move to position 2, like so, and rotate it again with the ring finger, just like so. Using the ring fingers, that's the right, and there's the left. That's how you do the back moves. Now, let's go over a few cases where you wouldn't use any of these. For example, the middle slices. When you move a middle slice, let's just start with the E slice. You can think of this as, it's notated as an E, but to help you remember, think of an equator, like on a globe. It goes around in this direction. So this is the E face, as an elephant. You can move this one of 2 ways. You can either use your middle finger, like so, or you can slide your hand upwards, like so, and flick it with the ring finger, like so. Those are the 2 positions, and you can do that with both hands. There's the left hand, and sliding up. Try to get it in the camera. There we go. So that is the E face. The next face is the M face. Now there's multiple ways to do this. One way is you can use your index finger, pull it on top here in the back, shift it from this cubie to this cubie, and push it forward, push it downwards. And then to push it upwards, you do the similar thing. You take this finger, the ring finger, and you slide it onto this center cubie, and you flick upwards like that. So that's how you can push the face or flick the face with your fingers. The index, you can either do it with the left and then push up with the right, or you can push down with the right and push up with the left, like so. Another way, which is very common, is to use an R and a little r move, or an L and a little l move. So if I'm going to push this downwards, I would just use an R and a little r. And that would be a little r prime. But the whole concept is that you're using 2 moves, like so. Pull it down, pull it up. Down and up. So that's how you can use your hand instead of your fingers, in this case, to move this M layer.